Greetings, blessings upon you in the new age of Aquarius as we have moved from Pluto to Aquarius.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. Anyway, welcome back to Not For Real For Real.
Welcome back, y'all. And today we have a word.
Well, the Lord has a word.
November 16th says it's Acts 27, 1 through 26.
Okay.
When you get to your Bibles, say you there.
There.
I'm there too. All right. It says here, Paul sails for Rome. Okay, so I'm going to read it because I didn't read it yet. Okay? And I know you've read it, so.
Yeah. 3 times.
When the time came, we set sail for Italy. Paul and several other prisoners were placed in the custody of a Roman officer named Julius, a captain of the imperial regiment. Aristarchus, a Macedonian from Thessalonica, was also with us. We left on a ship whose home port was
Adramyttium.
Thank you. I'm like, okay.
I know. I read ahead, and I was like, oh.
These words. Come on now. And this is the English version. Right. On the northwest coast of the province of
pause,
Asia.
Though. But do you see how they keep
the name and they change Jesus? I know. We're not getting into that right now. Okay, let's stick to the plan. Yeshua. Yeah. Okay. We left on a ship whose home port was Adramyttium on the northwest coast of the province of Asia. It was scheduled to make several stops at ports along the coast of the province. The next day, when we docked at Sidon, Julius was very kind to Paul and let him go ashore to visit with his friends so they could provide for his seeds. Putting out to sea from there, we encountered strong headwinds that made it difficult to keep the ship on course. So we sailed north of Cyprus between the island and the mainland. Keeping to the open sea, we passed along the coast of Cilicia and Pamphylia, landing at Myra in the province of Lycia. There, the commanding... Thank you.
I'm looking at these words like, man, it's been a long time.
You know, it's that public education.
Yeah.
There, the commanding officer found the commanding officer. We just watched that. Oh my god. So sorry.
Major Pay. Yeah, you stupid.
Okay, commanding officer found an Egyptian ship from Alexandria that was bound for Italy, and he put us on board. We had several days of slow sailing, and after great difficulty, we finally neared Cnidus. But the wind was against us, so we sailed across to Crete. Well, I know where Crete is. And along the sheltered coast of the island, past the Cape of Salmon. We struggled along the coast with great difficulty and finally arrived at Fair Havens near the town of Lycia. We had lost a lot of time. The weather was becoming dangerous for sea travel because it was so late in the fall, and Paul spoke to the ship's officers about it. Men, he said, I believe there is trouble ahead if we go on. Shipwreck, loss of cargo, and danger of our lives as well. But the officer in charge of the prisoners listened more to the ship's captain and the owner than to Paul. And since Fair Havens was an exposed harbor, a poor place to spend the winter, most of the crew wanted to go on to Phoenix, farther up the coast of Crete, and spend the winter there. Phoenix was a good harbor with only a southwest and northwest exposure. So, reading forward. The storm at sea. When a light wind began blowing from the south, the sailors...
You know, this is a lot of reading.
This is, but...
Of a story.
Yeah, but we're not finished.
I know. We need context too, but go ahead.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Yeah. I want to get to it.
We need context.
The sun is going down really fast. Somebody is turning this time. I'm just like, I'm nervous, and I'm like, the sun is going down.
Well, you're wasting time by...
Yes, I actually am not wasting time. I'm bending time. There is no spoon. Continue to read Trinity.
Okay. So they pulled up an anchor and sailed close to the shore of Crete, but the weather changed abruptly, and a wind of typhoon strength, called a northeaster, burst across the island and blew us out to sea. The sailors couldn't turn the ship into the wind, so they gave up and let it run before the gale. We sailed along the sheltered side of a small island named Cauda, where with great difficulty we hoisted aboard the lifeboat being towed behind us. Then the sailors bound ropes around the hull of the ship to strengthen it. They were afraid of the being driven across to the sandbars of Syrtis off the African coast, so they lowered the sea anchor to slow the ship and were driven before the wind. The next day, as gale-force winds continued to batter the ship, the crew began throwing in the cargo overboard. The following day, they even took some of the ship's gear and threw it overboard. The terrible storm raged for many days, blotting out the sun and the stars until at last all hope was gone. No one had eaten for a long time. Finally, Paul called the crew together and said, "Men, you should have listened to me in the first place and not left Crete. You would have avoided all this damage and loss. But take courage. None of you will lose your lives, even though the ship will go down. For last night, an angel of the God to whom I belong and whom I serve stood beside me. And he said, 'Don't be afraid, Paul, for you will surely stand trial before Caesar. What's more, God in his goodness has granted safety to everyone sailing with you. So take courage, for I believe God. It will be just as he said. But we will be shipwrecked on an island.'" Because y'all didn't listen the first time.
See what happens when you have people in your ship? Ship happens. Shipwrecks happen.
When you don't listen. Yeah.
Your fellowship, your relationship, situationship, partnership, discipleship, worship. Get your ship together.
Get your ship together.
I've preached that before.
Oh, okay. Well, I like that.
Yeah, but don't be afraid. I like it. I like when the angel said, that's my child of God, and I'm gonna stick beside him.
I'm gonna stick beside him. He said, luckily for y'all with him.
Yeah, for last night an angel of the God to whom I belong, verse 23, whom I serve, stood beside me. And he said, "Don't be afraid, Paul, for you will stand trial before Caesar. What's more, God in his goodness has granted safety to everyone sailing with you. So take courage, for I believe God. It will be just as he said, but we will be shipwrecked on an island." He's like, you're going to be safe.
Consequences to your choice.
Through this storm, but you're going to be shipwrecked. You're going to have a pause for the cause.
Because you still made a choice not to listen to God, so there are consequences with not listening to God. So guess what? All your cargo, all the damages, all the things,
Jonah.
Boom, they had to leave. They had to go, but at least your lives were spared. And your lives were spared only because you are with Paul.
The man of God was in the position, and I remember I had a mentor who used to say, this plane's not gonna crash. I'm on this plane, and every time I get on the plane, I say, "Ain't nothing gonna happen to this. I don't care who's on this plane. I'm on this plane."
I like
and
that.
I'm an anointed man of God. God ain't gonna let me die in no plane crash.
Does it work with upset tummies? Because I get my tummy upset every time.
That's between you and the Lord. He's worked it out with me. My angels be making sure my stomach is. See, my stomach gotta be settled so that I can pray for y'all. So I can I do pray for everybody. I pray for you, of course, but I pray for the pilot. I pray for everybody on the plane. People don't know who's praying on the plane.
Shipwrecked.
No.
Or plane wrecked. Car wrecked.
Nothing.
Wrecked.
No wreck. We don't want to be wrecked at all anymore. And our lives can't be a wreck. Our minds can't be a wreck. Our finances can't be a wreck.
Together.
Get your ship together. That's the word of the day. It's 9 on the clock. Let's go. It's been Not For Real.
Not for real.
Hope y'all are good. Season 2 is coming soon.
So soon.